Second, Charles Barkley. Johnson around his man, drives, he scores. Chambers scores for Lamar Jackson. 6 points. Behind the back, Stoudemire scores. On the goal to Allen. Rejected. What a defensive effort that time. And Crowder looking for the alley. Kevin Durant breaking out here. With a long one, won't get it. Long rebound.
All right, welcome in Planeteers to a very interesting post-game 3 episode for us here on Suns Planet. I believe last time we streamed, we were talking about how we all were predicting the Suns would be victorious, maybe drop one game to the T-Wolves, and we were also handing out our awards for the regular season. And it was a very fun episode that we had with Suns Geek, and then everything all of a sudden went very downhill. And so we are hoping that our good friends are the OG podcasters themselves, Paul and Justin from Fanning the Flames, one of the oldest Phoenix Suns podcasts in existence, are going to be able to help bring that sunshine, that ray of positivity. And let's start with the guy with the glasses on in the sunshine. Justin, what's up, buddy?
I thought we weren't going to talk about basketball. I was told before this episode we wouldn't have to talk about basketball. No? This is a lie? Bro, I'm
the movie
good.
reviews will happen later.
Hey, hold on. Let me step back. Look, it's a fucking beautiful day. It's a Saturday morning in Phoenix, Arizona. It's like 73 degrees. I'm sitting in the sunshine. I'm by my pool. I'm waiting for my Starbucks to get here. Life's fantastic. It's wonderful.
Starbucks?
Yeah. Is that not normal? Doesn't everybody do that?
There's a lot of cyanide in Starbucks.
I have a threshold of what I'm willing to DoorDash. If the fee is going to make the food twice as much.
I didn't get food. I just got a drink. Well, to be fair, it's for the family. I mean, like everyone's getting something, I assume. I don't know. Maybe we just got something for me. Now I feel like an idiot, Paul. Thanks. God, this is what happens. This is why we don't record episodes anymore. I just get verbally abused by Paul every time I talk to him.
You mean the reverse of our 20-year relationship?
But I'm doing well, Jake. That was the answer to the question. Is that what you asked me? How am I doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I just want to say, and Hamill, I don't know if you know this, but Paul and I have been like trying to get on the show for like months. And Jake's always like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we have somebody else lined up. Maybe in like 3 weeks we can have you." And I just wanted to make sure that's clear that Jake has been big timing us for like 3 months at this point, right, Paul?
That is absolutely correct.
I would not doubt it at all, man.
Just talk about your very abusive relationship.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Relationship's a two-way street.
I'm the problem? It's me? It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Oh, there had to be a Taylor Swift reference coming up somewhere. You knew there had to be a Swiftie reference.
That's just the first.
It's the first of many.
Jake, why are you letting me take this over like this? You got to step in and stop this eventually, dude.
I'm playing like a Phoenix Suns player right now. I'm just going to watch from the side of the court.
You don't have to say hurtful things.
And then I'm not going
don't say hurtful
things of you well at all. I'm just going to stand there, and then I'm going to get frustrated. And then the next time we get the ball, I'm not going to pass it back. But we've also got Paul from Fanning the Flames. Paul in the new place. No open closet behind him. He's got a new setup. What's up, Paul?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for finally letting us on.
God dang it. For the
Hammer's like,
Planeteers out
what the
there,
fuck?
I'm
Hammer
afraid
just-
it moved on to football
Oh wait,
season.
No,
hold on.
I'll-
Wait, am I not supposed to cuss on your podcast? Maybe I shouldn't cuss because I'm
the
outside
Australian-
in my
Hey, man,
backyard
go
on
for
a
it.
Saturday morning. Maybe that would be a better reason to not cuss.
Go for it.
My neighbors are like,
Private
I have
property.
to. I
why
have
is
to ring.
the guy who never goes outside suddenly yelling in his backyard at 9 o'clock on a Saturday? I'm sorry, guys, I'm quiet now.
Man, I have to ring, call, text, email, knock on his front door just to get on my own pod every week. So I wouldn't be worried too much
I know
about
how you feel.
how long
I
it
know.
took to get on here, guys. All right.
Don't worry. I years of therapy. I'll get over it. I will be okay though.
You guys, we got
30.
people in the chat that are just dying here. Haven't been able to sleep since the loss. We got to help them out here a little bit. And,
I slept through the
Oh,
What are you
entire
suggesting? What are you suggesting? We bore them to sleep? Is that what you're saying? Like,
that should be a smart move. But just for the record, everyone, you'll notice
take it
that
away, Paul.
we're missing Mr. Dan Duarte of Fanning the Flames. Because Fanning the Flames just is never available. They're in such high demand that they're always big timing me and saying they cannot
And we
join.
big time each other.
That's actually the truth. They big time each other. And
We are
so
all too good for
lucky
each other.
to
and stuff.
out of the 3 on. And of course, some of you may have noticed that we're without our man Kevin, the Thrilla from Manila, out of the Philippines. He can't make it today. He just switched new houses and getting the internet set up there. So Justin is half Filipino. He will be able to speak a little Tagalog as we go on. But Hamo, say hi to the folks. Let them know what the Thunder from Down Under is feeling.
Tagalog.
Sick.
Tagalog.
Thank
Like that was I'm just gonna say this, Paul. I'm gonna have to say this. That felt kind of subtly racist. I'm just gonna say the way you pronounced it.
Jeez.
Just kidding. For the record, I am just kidding. I don't want Jake to get like in trouble with anybody. I'll be quiet now. Okay.
Go ahead,
Somebody talk though. Somebody talk.
How am I feeling right now? Sick. Like I don't have the flu or anything, just to be clear. I just feel sick. It was a shitty day.
Mm-hmm. Well, 100%. And I think the thing that we're going to be talking about a little bit today is, let's just cut through it a little bit. I don't, no team in NBA playoff history has ever won a series being down 0-3. Now, there have been more than a handful of teams that have come back from being down 0-3 to make it a 7-game series. But at this point, it'd be kind of hard to expect that to happen. So we won't go too negative on this podcast because we're technically still in it. But I don't know.
Math.
Let's talk about somebody that I feel like I guess let's do a little analysis of some of the players and kind of what we were expecting to see more from this playoff series.
You might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you dance with the Reaper.
And that is one Mr. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, KD, brought to the Valley to help us win that title. Traded Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, a bunch of future picks, pick swaps. Kevin Durant has had one very solid game to start off, and then since then, in the second game against the Timberwolves, he shot a 6 for 15. And then he was 8 for 18 last night, and with a couple of those buckets coming in garbage time. He shot 44% last night, 40% the game before that. As I mentioned, game one it was solid, 11 of 17, 65% shooting. But the last couple of games, turnovers, just about equaling his assist output, and he's just not the Kevin Durant I was kind of expecting. Not the one we saw, I think, a lot in the regular season. Paul, how much of this can we put on Kevin Durant? Right now, I guess we're going to be saying that about a lot of the players today.
Yeah, I mean,
cracking it open.
we can put some on all of the big three, because I mean, this team doesn't work if the big three aren't firing on all cylinders. It's like that's how this team was designed, and so we lost both these guys, or did you just kick them out to focus on me?
They both left themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, just making sure.
Sorry, brother.
Anywho, yeah, this team is a little, this suckage is on all three of these guys, because I've been saying since the beginning of this season that if those three guys don't combine for at least 70 points, it's extremely hard for us to win. We've had one game where these guys have combined for 70 points, and that was last night. And then, you need at least 70 for them to have a chance to win.
Compete, yeah.
And those guys have all fallen short all 3 games so far. And I don't really know why, because we kicked the shit out of the Timberwolves going into the all season, and then they come in and it's like they're a completely different team. And but clearly the Suns aren't making any adjustments. And so I can't pin this on one guy by any means. So it's a failure all around.
Okay. Justin, are you pro Durant, or did you expect more from him?
Well, I mean, I feel like you can't look at any player on this team and say that you haven't expected more from them. So that necessarily includes Kevin Durant. I mean, you can't ignore what the guy did throughout the season, but like you said, at the end of the day, he had a good game, the first game of the series, and then it's been since. And on top of that, there was game 2, where there were 4 or 5 possessions in a row where KD kind of parked himself in the corner. He seems to get complacent, right? And that's just something. Look, I get it, dude. You're KD. You are an elite scorer. You're one of the greatest scorers in the game, but it's not that easy, right? You got to put some motor into it. And man, you guys know me. I don't it's maybe it's because I'm going to say from 9 to 5, but that's metaphorical in my life, because I wish I worked 9 to 5. But in my 9 to 5 job, maybe it's because I'm dealing with
an attorney.
Yeah. It's more like 10 to 3, and I take an hour and a half lunch. It's but dude, maybe it's because I have so much negativity in my life during that time frame. I'm very hard pressed to knock things that I watch for the sake of enjoying it, like the Suns, right? But bro, I go out and watch my kids play soccer. Kids go to their cheer events. If they weren't trying, I would lose my fucking mind. I wouldn't not them, but I'd be like, come on, work hard. That's all I ask for you. KD, bro, don't sit there in a corner waiting for the ball to come to you. Yeah, you're Kevin fucking Durant. Put forth 8% effort, and you'll dominate out there. But I don't know, maybe he just does smoke too much weed. I don't know. But you can't point your finger at one person on this team. This team just looks like they don't give a fuck. And I've frankly, Paul knows me. I stick to my laurels to a fault. But then when when I get to a certain point, I'm like, I'll check out. Right now, they don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So if you want to talk about movies, I'm down too.
Well,
Who's
just
next?
to
I'm
from
done.
I checked out the way through the season.
oh gosh, well now it's funny to mention that with movies too, because there's is it Superbad? Paul, you'll probably know this quote faster than I will. Where he goes, I know you don't think I give a fuck, but I do give a fuck. I give lots of fucks. And that's where I'm at with this team. And I feel just very frustrated, as I'm sure many of you do, that, yes, I feel like I see the players checked out. And it was a lot like that in yesterday's game, except that first half. It looked like, I thought, especially that first quarter, Conley got in foul trouble. Karl Anthony Towns got in foul trouble. We had, Gobert in foul trouble.
13 free throws in the first quarter, was it?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, foot came off the pedal. We stopped being aggressive and taking it to the paint. We stopped shooting threes, and granted, we weren't making them, but it's hard to make them if you also don't take them. And so it just started to seem that they started checking out until the fourth, when then you would see a valiant effort by one or two players, and then the other guys would go, oh, okay, now we're going to try and get back into it. But Hamo, the question comes back to you. KD, I know one of your favorite players of all time, top 10 player in the history. I'm going to ask you the top 5 player in the history. I'm going to ask you a question right now. Does KD go down as never being a Batman and just being the NBA's greatest Robin? Does he win a title without somebody like a Steph Curry? Because right now, it doesn't look like if this continues, I don't know how he ever takes a team to the title as the for sure best player. And I think
Well,
there can be
with
an
the
argument.
current CBA, he never will.
And I think the argument could be made that the titles that he was involved with winning were with the team that was winning before him and winning after him. So the question to you is KD the NBA's greatest Robin?
But that doesn't mean that they would have won without him when they had him. That's a
Right.
stupid question. Hamo, don't answer that.
It's a fantastic question.
No, well, no.
As
Hang
you're
on,
referring,
hang on,
And
I
hang on.
suggest
Draymond
you don't
Green
answer
was the
that.
second best player of that team. That's a hot take right there.
Step back for a second. KD was the MVP of the league when he was playing on the OKC Thunder. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, he had Westbrook. Yes,
He
hang
had
on,
James
hang on,
Harden.
hang on.
Yes,
He had
Serge
Kendrick
Ibaka.
Perkins, people. Do we not understand how good Kendrick Perkins was? Fucking idiot. No, I don't totally agree with that statement. I think he was the Batman in OKC, and I think he did a damn good job. Well, I mean, everyone thought he did a good job, or else he wouldn't be the MVP that season. But yeah, I don't know what's up with this team right now, dude. It, like I said, just makes me feel sick.
Well,
If you emotionally detach yourself, it helps. I've found
so
that.
much. So
I
much.
did that
Very
last.
hard.
I did that
Very
last night.
hard
I was.
to do, man.
I know. I was telling I watched the game with Dan last night, and I said that to him. He kind of had the same sentiment, and I was just like, "It's okay, young man. As you get older, you're fine. That your emotional attachment starts to tie stronger in other areas, and you can detach easier." Now, don't get me wrong, because I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow, and I will be my normal self. But
Dan Duarte. All right.
You made
Talking
Hamo
down to my
spit
boy.
take, dude. That's amazing.
I have that effect on people.
Almost. Yeah, talking down to Dan like that. It's okay, young man. What
No,
the hell?
it's something we
That's
love
just
about Dan.
factual. He's younger than me. It's not a demeaning. It's an endearing.
That's funny.
Well, I'll just I'll double down on it. I think the Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green,
Jesus Christ.
culture that was already established before Kevin Durant arrived, it had already beaten KD's OKC team, which ended up also having multiple MVPs on it: James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and so I'll just I think, don't get me wrong, Kevin Durant, absolutely phenomenal player, but I think my frustration, even dating back to last year in the playoffs, has been. He is absolutely a guy that can fill up the stat sheet. He can be a fantastic shooter. But, I saw a lot of disappointed Suns fans saying, you know what, when we had Chris Paul, he held people accountable. And I always think of that scene when Draymond Green is getting in Kevin Durant's ear, telling him what he needs to do to wake up.
Not every great player is a leader. Those are two completely different things.
Yeah.
And
to you, Paul, is KD a leader?
No.
Okay.
Never been a leader. He's been
an amazing player. He's kind of clear about that too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, dude, the fucking a get in your face and yell at you guy isn't the fucking issue. That doesn't make the team not play ISO ball all the fucking time on offense. Like it's not that simple. It's just not. Either there's something more deep rooted in this, or this is truly a Jekyll and Hyde team. But I think
I blame Kevin Young for going to BYU.
And look, and hold on, let me say something really quick though. I will say, allow me to be optimistic for a moment. This does pose quite the opportunity to find ourselves amongst, some history. As you said, no one's ever done it. Somebody had to do it at some point in time. And why the fuck not this team? If the team was going to do it, Because if you think about it, let's
don't
think about
deserve it.
the concept of coming back from an 0-3 deficit in a playoff series. Like we've seen in this series, it oftentimes doesn't look pretty. You get through that third game and you're like, oh, this team is fucking cooked. Maybe you get through the second game and say that. Perhaps the first game, whatever. But ultimately, if you look at any teams in the league now and the league history wise and say, huh, if a team has the potential or what team has the most likelihood of being able to do something like that based on talent, based on how you've seen them operate throughout the season, literally one day to another, looking like completely different teams. Hey, why not?
True.
But
Yeah,
but
they could go on a heater,
short
but
of
they've never
short
won
of
4
that
games in a row all
happening.
season. I'll say that much. So,
Oh, so they're due. Oh, fuck. You know what? Oh, hold on. Back. I'm
Stop
back.
lowering
Let's
him,
go.
Justin.
Suns in 7. Suns in 7. Fucking let's go.
All right.
All right.
Well, I don't have an
16
exact.
game winning
Next
streak.
subject.
Yeah, I don't have a drop for this guy in particular, so I'm going to go back and
Just make Paul sing
I'm
something.
going to reach on this
1,
one
2,
a bit.
3, go.
That was our classic Best Non-Player Award, which of course went to Matt Ishbia, which I still think most Suns fans would say they appreciated him coming in and swinging for the fences right away. But the other three candidates in there, Kevin Young, Frank Vogel, and James Jones. Wow, did the fan base turn on them over the last week? Especially, I mean, I think Frank Vogel always had his doubters.
So did
Kevin
John.
Young's been in the he's been in the
Every one of
crossfire.
them has had doubters.
Well, exactly right. From James Jones taking Jason Smith, was it in the draft? There's some doubt.
Holy shit, dude! Jason Smith is
Jalen,
like a center,
right?
if I'm not mistaken, from Colorado State from like the early 2000s.
Josh
Also,
Smith?
no, hold on, I gotta look this up. I swear.
Jalen, right?
Yeah, no,
Jalen
Jalen
Smith.
Smith is who we drafted.
Okay.
Hold on.
Paul, we need to invite Justin into that NBA trivia game. Just randomly
Which I
look-
suck at. I don't bother
worry, I'm
playing.
with you. But no, so I want to talk real briefly about the Frank Vogel stuff because I happened to hop onto a Twitter Spaces yesterday after the second half got going, and
Why?
it's hosted by I should probably. It's essentially the internet comment sections, and I realized very quickly it was hosted by Trevor Booth. But he had a lot of people on there as speakers, and it quickly devolved into, let's see, Frank Vogel is the absolute worst coach ever, and also Yusuf Nurkic, who we can get to in a bit, is the absolute trash center, and so is everyone else, all the other role players on this team. But let's start with Frank Vogel. They said no corrections have been made. He's not using any, making any adjustments. They claimed it was his offensive philosophy out there.
He's a defensive
These are
coach.
all Frank Vogel ideas. And so I want to throw that back into here and just say, how much of this rests at Frank Vogel's feet?
Well, he's a decent defensive coach. That's why we kept Kevin Young, because he's not a strong offensive coach. So laying the trappings of a poorly run offense on a defensive coach is kind of dumb, but at the same time, he is, at the end of the day, the coach.
Mhm.
And, he makes the choice of kind of how, like, what philosophy they go with. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's, if I remember, like, he's never been one for adjustments. Like, I don't think back when he was coaching the Lakers and we beat them, he didn't really adjust too much. Not in the year we went to the finals. So, was he my ideal choice for the coach when they hired a new coach this summer? No. Will he make it past this offseason? I don't know. Ishbia could straight up clean house of everybody but Devin Booker on this team. Try to get as many assets as possible and start over.
That's a hot take.
So we could either roll the dice and run it back, or we could completely clean house,
can't-
or
you
something
can't-
in between.
With the new CBA, you can't run it back. This new CBA is so like the
We
way
could
it's
just
designed.
exchange the minimum contracts or new minimum
No,
contracts, right?
it's harder. It's even harder this coming year. They're like, because this was the add-in year. This was the like phase-in year. The restrictions are even worse next year. That if you're into that apron, that the only way, like, in my opinion, going forward, the teams that are going to be successful in this league are teams that have stars on rookie maxes.
So basically, the Thunder are set for the next decade to be extremely competitive.
Oh, of course they are.
No, not at all.
Oh.
They have a chance to win in the next couple of years, and then once those guys start getting on their second maxes, it becomes too cost prohibitive, much like the NFL. You know, you got guys like Dame Lillard, guys like Kevin Durant, guys like LeBron. They're too deep into their careers. They make too much of the cap to get strong players around them, enough strong players around them to win. The guys who are going to win in this league in the next 5-10 years, you can have one guy on a second max, but it's because you have a guy on a rookie max who's a stud, not a guy who got a rookie max because he's the best player on a shitty team.
Are you telling me the Spurs are going to be dominant for
the Spurs are going to, well, yeah, because somebody's going to jump to the Spurs. Somebody might jump to the Spurs now, because you get the even better opportunity of, you got a stud who's on a rookie deal. He's not even on his max. Yeah. Somebody will jump to the Spurs like a really solid guard, and then you've got a 1-2 punch. You can't do 3 guys anymore. It's going to make the league a lot more balanced, which means the idea of dynasties is probably out the window, because there's enough stars that to make the math work anywhere and have a competitive team. You only have 2 at most. That means everybody's going to have 2.
Yeah.
Or most everybody's going to have 1 or 2 that are decent. And, you're still going to get those guys who, because they were drafted and they're on a shitty team, you're going to get the, who's a good example of one who got one not too long ago, like Eric Gordon, when he got his,
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal, yeah, but like when Eric Gordon got matched by the Pelicans, but Hornets, I think, still at the time.
Oh God, yeah.
That was like, he wasn't a max player. He's never truly been a max player, but he was their best player. And they didn't want to lose him, so they paid him max money. Granted, we were going to pay him max money too. But now it's, those guys on that second, that third, that fourth, like you've got like Dame Lillard and Kevin Durant max deal. It's too cost prohibitive for you to have a good team around you. Like, unless they start doing something where there's, if you can get those deals on the team that drafted you, and you can pay them X, but it only counts Y against the cap because it's the team that drafted you. That's the only way it's going to work to get like these guys really highly paid after a certain point. That championship window for any team now is 2-3 years at most, and it's when you got a guy on a rookie max going forward. It's the only way it works mathematically.
Well, that'll, I know we'll certainly talk a lot about that kind of stuff, especially in our what could be a very much sooner than we hoped off-season episode. But Hamo, did you want to talk a little bit more about Coach Frankie V?
I had a couple of things just quickly. Number one, Justin, God damn, you have a beautiful background, man. I know it's actually behind you. It's not like a live background like I've got, but God damn, that's beautiful, man. It's 2:30 in the morning here. It's freezing fucking cold.
Thank you.
I'm
Arizona's a beautiful place.
I'm jealous.
Arizona's a beautiful place.
Number two, Jake, not to step on you and correct you, but that Spaces yesterday was held by our good friend D-Rock Trainer, not Trevor Booth.
Oh, I didn't see D-Rock on that one.
Yeah. No, it was D-Rock Space, but still, it's good time. Yeah, look, Paul pretty much covered it all, man. Like, I don't know.
Boy, did he.
I've been
No.
holding it in all
You
season,
don't
Justin.
blame Vogel either. Is that right,
I
Hammer?
mean, yeah, we started with Vogel and got to the CBA. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly. That's why I'm gonna redirect us, tighten it up a bit, and keep it on Vogel. Are you liking his adjustments? Is he doing everything he can? I guess in the head coaching position, or do you think that a lot of this rests on his shoulders?
Oh, 98% of it rests on his shoulders, man.
No,
98%.
Yep.
So 2% on the big three.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
Justin, do you agree with this? Is a Frank Vogel problem?
Do I agree with it's 98% his fault? No, that seems a bit much. But I'm with Paul in the point that at the end of the day, he's the head coach. But you know what I thought, and I know we're talking Vogel, but I guess we don't need to stay just on Vogel, clearly. But the whole Kevin Young thing. Did you guys happen to see any of his comments from his introductory press conference at BYU?
Mm-mm.
Fuck Kevin Young.
He talked about how he wants to run an offense that spreads the floor more and focuses on shooting threes more and stuff like that, which kind of begs the question:
4 of our guys are like great 3-point shooters.
is what Kevin Young wants to do with the Suns offense actually what's happening with the Suns offense?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because, look,
every time we're down by 2 and we get to the opposite end of the court and the defense isn't even set and we just jack up a 3 and miss. And it's like,
yeah, there was a little bit of times in yesterday's game where I thought Book has a wide open 3 or somebody else did have a wide open 3 and they decided against it. The closeout came late and then they tried to dribble around them and take a contested 2. And then we'd go on a fast break and Booker would do a heat check and toss up a 3 and then kind of look back and go, okay, I shouldn't have done that. But no, I that was something that came up in that Twitter Spaces was kind of the rumor mill that Kevin Young was actually pushing to move the ball faster, run up and down the floor more. And Vogel said, no, this is better for, the defensive scheme. If we're not exerting too much there, we can get reset. We can, slow down their offense. Are you buying that, Justin?
I am because, I mean, ultimately and this is what everyone's been ragging on KY for this year, right? And that's, he's supposed to be an offensive genius. Our offense looks like shit. I don't think you get a reputation as an offensive genius on accident. So there's a reason why an offense, I mean, we know that Monty literally did not listen to Kevin Young. Like, Monty admitted it on the record. So, like, there's the disconnect there. Now we have, I was stoked when they kept Kevin Young because I'm like, we get to see, because everything I heard about Vogel was he listens to his coaches. He takes their input and applies it, right? And I'm thinking fantastic. And and look, I mean, I don't know one way or the other, but you add it all up, it certainly seems to make sense. And I mean, Kevin Young was also still he interviewed for the Nets job. I think he interviewed for the Charlotte job, and I'm talking this year.
Yeah.
Before he took the BYU job. So he was still sought after. So it's not like people around the league and in basketball are looking at Kevin Young as not a good coach. So it certainly implies that he's not the issue there. With the coaching staff, I mean, I think it all falls on Vogel. And because he's the head coach, yes, but also because ultimately his role is to make sure players are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And his role is to understand that there are dudes that are in place there on his staff for a reason, right? So if Kevin Young, if that's what's going on, and it's Vogel saying, no, let's not move the ball, let's not do it. Dude, come on. Like Paul said, he's a defensive coach, and miss me with so they don't exert as much on offense. So they could be, our defense looks like shit. So maybe fucking let them exert more. Let's try to outscore the other team instead of trying to save our defense or save our energy for defense. So our closeouts can be half-assed instead of zero-assed. I don't know.
I thought, please correct me if I'm wrong, but when we went into this season and like the whole thing about not having a point guard was because we planned to play faster.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It does not feel like we've played any faster.
No.
So I've just had a quick look at the stats for a defensive-minded coach. All we've done in terms of defensive rating as a team is we've gone from last year being 9th to this year being 8th, and we've increased from 112.3 to 113.7. Now, yes, it's his first year. Yes, it's this and that, but for a defensive-minded coach, that is not a very massive impact.
He wasn't given a lot of defensive-minded players, though.
And that's that's sort of where I'm falling on this deal. Is that Kevin Young was here before Vogel, and all we heard about was what a great relationship he has with Booker, that KD likes him. And I'll be honest, I don't see KD playing like a fast offensive player a lot of times. A lot of times I feel like, we have three of the best ISO ball.
To get down the court.
Exactly. Yeah. But I feel like we have three of the best isolation offensive players. And that's a bit of a challenge too, because when I'm watching the Wolves move the ball on offense, you can see the cohesion of the five guys on the floor together. I mean, how many times does Rudy Gobert get a completely wide open dunk? And this is going to be a little bit of, they had chemistry. They know where they're at on the court and how to play together. And we're a little bit more stilted on our offense. And then, of course, this does reflect a little bit on Vogel on defense, but the miscommunications that we're still having with how many wide open threes we were giving up last night, and then how many wide open dunks to Gobert. I mean, like, we make Rudy Gobert look like he's a dominant offensive center out there. And that runs up a little bit against, some of these rotations and some of the players that, as I mentioned, we're getting a lot of kind of negativity talked about them last night. And let me see, do we have it lined up or did I accidentally? Nope, we got it. Here you go, Hamo. You can start
editorialization.
Here goes a flush, savage slam dunk, rebound with the sound of this welcome funk. Bosnian Beast.
The Bosnian Beast and the Hamo Shuffle. Guys,
I
Jusuf
love
Nurkic,
that, man.
The better than DeAndre Ayton decision. I mean, that was what we proclaimed when we were handing out awards. He won our International Player of the Year award during the inaugural award session. But so far in these playoffs, in his 3 games, he's averaging just under 28 minutes, just over 7 points a game, just over 8 rebounds a game, a couple of assists. Jusuf Nurkic, is it just, I mean, he's playing against the likely defensive player of the year and against the top defensive team in the league. But Justin, is Nurk out? I mean, is he outmatched? Is he not as good as we thought?
I mean, yeah, he's outmatched. Nurk is as good as we thought is kind of like a loaded way of putting it, because I think everybody can understand or should understand about Nurk is like he's effective in certain types of matchups, right? Like the dude is average. The dude looks like garbage this series, but he had what? How many games this year where he had 20 plus rebounds, right? So it's not like Nurkic is a bad center. He's getting fucking cooked this series. He looks slow. He makes Rudy Gobert look like he's fucking Giannis out there, in terms of like athleticism and speed. And somehow Nurk looks slower right now than he's looked throughout the year. And maybe it's because whatever it is that the Wolves are doing on offense against the Suns' defensive sets are just making him so lost. He just looks slower, but I mean, he's unplayable, right? I mean, I candidly, I love Nurk. Like, personality-wise, I fucking love him. I think he's been a great contributor to the team this year. DA trade was what it was. It's something that, I mean, shit, Paul was saying it halfway through the year last year that it was something that just felt like needed to happen because DA needed a new place. He needed a new environment. And if that was something that was inevitable, then in terms of return, fine. I mean, we still got Grayson in that too, but
Mhm.
it's whatever Vogel's defensive scheme is with Nurk, it's not one that he's able to adjust for Nurk's deficiencies in certain matchups. That's clear.
Mhm.
And if you think about it, anytime Vogel has led successful teams, let's go back to Indiana, right?
Mhm.
Even before the Lakers, he always had an athletic big, or at least a somewhat athletic big. I mean, in
Yeah.
LA, he had fucking Anthony Davis.
Mhm. But
And
you
now
can
it's
throw in
totally
Dwight
forgetting
Howard,
that.
JaVale McGee, Roy Hibbert,
Yeah,
and with the
exactly.
Pacers, they're
There you
lanky,
go.
shot
And
block.
and
Yeah.
while they might like Hibbert, right? Okay, he's not athletic per se, or he was not, but
Mm.
still in terms of Nurk, there's more there in that regard. But
Hibbert was a whole different. The NBA was being played so
and
different.
exactly, that's a very good
when
point
Hibbert
too.
was there.
Completely different game.
But I mean, and to the point about Nurk versus AD, and you said AD or not AD, Ayton. Ayton did need to move on. It was time for that, and particularly because we couldn't have 4 max players. We, we just, and the Nurk from a value perspective, what you lose in playability, you make up for in he's getting paid $20 million less. It's
Mhm.
He's a $16 million player for a reason. And he's a $16 million player, and
Get what you pay for. $16
Yeah.
million, or God damn it.
I know.
Yeah,
Well, when
$60 million only gets you so much these days. Yeah.
well, I mean, when Lillard's getting paid 60,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
like if like you think like if an NBA player's direct deposits like for one pay period accidentally went to another account, they would have any fucking clue. And it's like, for Lillard, like almost $1 million. It's like, oh, I don't
They're
know.
getting fined like $60,000 for throwing a towel into the stands or something,
Yeah,
I
you think
really,
about it, you're
I
like,
really
oh,
don't
that's
think they care too much.
it's a
Well,
good,
I
it's a
just
good.
want to touch on something that I think is kind of fascinating because I've certainly seen it a lot this series. Rudy Gobert, in his 3 games so far, 14 points, 16 rebounds, followed that up with 18 points, 9 rebounds. And then last night, 19 points, 14 rebounds. He's also shooting over 86% from the free throw line in each game. Rudy Gobert, I didn't know he was that good at the free throw line. Now, last night he shot 88%. The worst he shot was 86 so far in the series. 6 of 7, 6 of 7, and 7 of 8. Rudy Gobert, and I'm going to shout out Gio here, saying Nurk needs some help. I agree. I mean, as Paul said, you get what you pay for, but nobody is coming to watch Rudy Gobert. As soon Nurk is getting pulled out when Anthony Edwards drives and to try and keep up with them.
And then he
That's a
gets
lot to
switched
ask
and
on
he's
Nurk. And
then
then
he's
Kevin
done.
Durant's not there. Like Eric Gordon was trying to body up Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns last night. Like Eric Gordon cannot stay in front of Anthony Edwards. He's certainly going to get run over by these big guys. And I feel so bad that that's what he's being asked to do. But Hamo, to kind of finish up the Nurk points, is this more the Vogel scheme, do you think? Or is it just, are we seeing the limitations of Nurk?
This conversation unfortunately falls just after I've finished my Nurk piece, which will be up on ASAP Arizona very shortly. However, what do we expect him to do? Like you're saying, he's a $16 million player. If you get the money side of it, man, he's going up against the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Soon to be 4th.
Soon to be 4, more than likely. The person that shut down the entire NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Going against Karl Anthony Towns, who in his own right is not a mug. He is not a role player. He is a good big man.
Mhm.
What we're expecting too much out of Nurk, man. I love him. I really do. I love Nurk. He's been putting up decent stats, decent numbers this season, but it's just unfortunate, man. Like he's, yeah. What are we gonna do? Put in crazy waving inflatable tube man, Mr. Anemic, Drew Eubanks.
Okay, yeah.
Like, what else have we got?
Exactly, and that's a little bit of why I don't want to be a Vogel apologist per se, but to kind of echo what Paul was getting at too, like with the people that are like, oh, Vogel's just not making adjustments. With who? Eric Gordon was trying to guard Rudy Gobert last night. Was trying to guard Karl Anthony Towns last night. We had to play Bradley Beal against Zion Williamson, and you can make the argument that it worked for a game and a half in the regular season. This is a lot.
Zion was just confused.
Body short guards to take on these type of players. But one guy that got a little bit of play last night, not much, and we'll talk a little bit about his compadre who also came in off the bench and showed a little life. But some of these people have been saying, "Hey, where are these adjustments?" Here's one of them.
Bol.
I especially like bringing on some new co-hosts onto the episodes every now and then because I feel like, people like Justin and Paul would appreciate a classy Ghostbuster reference when we're able to throw it in there. But
Paul's
Bol
too
Bol not
busy
getting
doing
a
his
ton of
best
run.
Dan impersonation and just looking at his phone for the whole pod.
I don't know that I would agree with like the analogizing Bol to the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Less puffy, but just as tall. Yeah. Are you guys surprised? Well, first off, I'll say this. Are you guys expecting to see further adjustments in, I guess, tomorrow's game now? Would we see more of a Bol Kenny play in this series? And I'll just let's throw in all of our role players. Josh Okogie, I think, might have been the only guy with a heartbeat in that entire fourth quarter. I mean, Grant, he was still making mistakes, but god dang it, it looked like a scene from like a Disney movie where the coach looks at his bench and goes, "Can anyone do anything?" And Josh Okogie goes, "I can, sir." And he went in and just started.
I want to go fast.
Stealing the ball and doing everything he freaking could to wake these guys up.
When was the last time Okogie played?
Exactly. He had some fresh legs. Yeah.
Dude, Josh Okogie.
He had the best plus minus on the team.
He needs to play. Like, come on, like at this point, what the fuck? Why not, dude? Play. Yes, last night I looked at Dan and I'm like, bro, just let's fucking put IT in. Like, let's try something.
Mhm.
Try like a spark, because that's the thing, dude. Like, they get so demoralized so quickly. Like, I wish they had like. Do you guys watch Ted Lasso? Yeah, dude, I know Paul does. Jake, do you watch Ted Lasso?
Actually, my boss got me the Ted Lasso book, the little guide to Ted Lasso, to help you believe more.
So, do you watch Ted Lasso?
No, I don't actually watch it. That's what was the uncomfortable thing about getting that book.
Dude, god damn it! Like Paul, it's like Paul. Like I ask a question and then I get a completely different answer, and then you guys should do this more often. It would be lovely. Hamo, do you watch Ted Lasso?
Video podcast in the works.
I do, Justin. Just talk to me.
Hamo. Oh, did Hamo say no?
I've never seen it. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, man. That's fucking. Well, anyway, Ted Lasso has this thing where he's like, when you make a mistake, he's like, be a goldfish, because of such short memory, right? Be a goldfish. Just forget it. I feel like these dudes, when something starts going south, like they start sulking, their body language changes. They're a team that thrives on like kind of getting some swag. I'm not gonna say hype because I'm not one of those like dance around, be all jolly teams, but like there's swag to it, right? And I don't know where I'm going with this, to be quite honest. They just don't have that.
Brought a little bit of.
Oh, Josh Okogie, there you go. Thank you. Bring me back. Somebody's got to bring me back. Josh Okogie
We're
He
defeated.
brings all that. Like Bol Bol will bring a little bit of that, right? Like to get a spark, because you get a spark and shots start falling, and then all of a sudden things start rolling, right? And look, I'm not like a rah kind of guy, generally speaking. I mean, in terms of thinking it motivates people, especially professional athletes, but at the end of the day, dude, adrenaline's a real thing. And if you can get them fired up through the efforts of others and start getting the crowd into it, I mean, I think that's what this team needs. That's what killed them, killed a lot of the momentum. And I think, frankly, affected the refs a little bit in Minnesota and even in Phoenix a little bit. You know, I see that first quarter yesterday. And you need to do something. And I think Okogie's a guy that can bring that, because one thing's for sure is that that motherfucker only has one speed and it's full bore. And look, can he shoot? No, he can't shoot. He could shoot for about 8 weeks last year, and then since then can't. Maybe that'll come back. Who knows? But one thing we know is nobody else is hitting any fucking shots either. So at least let him bring some energy.
Well, yeah, that's a really good point, and I think he did. He did knock that three down when he first came into the game in the second half after not even playing in the first half.
Well, there you go. I was probably at that point already emotionally detached, which I feel myself now getting reattached. Damn you guys.
Well, I feel like that's a really good point, though. I feel like, especially the big three, but maybe even more so Booker and Durant, are almost so introverted that Booker, you saw it a little bit. He can get a little bit more fired up, but we don't really have that kind of, Jose Alvarado, Draymond Green. Not that we would want Draymond's attitude, but I mean, somebody that'll get in your face and kind of antagonize you.
Okay.
And we don't have, that kind of.
I do not like you using my point to make that point, because that is neither here nor there.
Okay,
you don't need antagonize.
Yeah, that's not the fucking energy, dude.
I'm saying
that's
we
not
don't
the
have
energy.
that. Hold on here. We don't have the antagonizer, but we also don't have the microwave score off the bench, really. I mean, Gordon, I think, was expected to be that initially. That hasn't been a role he's been able to really fulfill. And so when a Josh Okogie comes in and picks off a pass and runs down fast break and jams it in, that's a spark. And it's not something that that usually the big three are leading on that, but it does help the big three kind of re-engage a bit, because they can kind of fall in on themselves and say, oh man, missed that shot, they made one, missed that shot, they made another one, now we're down by 12. And so who are those guys that can come in and bring that energy? And it doesn't have to be an antagonistic role. Those are just the more outspoken players in the league. But a Josh Okogie, I mean, is everyone in agreement that's who we want to see more of in the next game? Just might as well give it a shot.
Is outspoken now a synonym for violent? I don't believe it is, G.
I'd say it doesn't have to be Draymond.
What's this guy? This guy's over here being like fucking diplomatic about Draymond motherfucking Green. Come on, dude.
Do we want to see the IT show?
Whatever. I don't care. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? Fucking, let's go. Let's start fucking IT, Josh Okogie, Thad Young, fucking Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. No, fuck that. Fucking Grayson Allen and Drew Eubanks.
Well,
and then take them all out like after like a minute. But like, just,
that was the funny thing on Twitter Spaces they were talking about. They said, I don't know why Vogel won't. He says he needs more wings. Why he doesn't play Nasir Little. The guy knocks down threes. As soon as they said that, I googled it. He hits 30% of his 3-pointers. I think there's a little bit of revisionist history.
That's not false. They didn't say he knocks him down a lot.
Yeah, exactly. He's not efficient at it. But Hamo, what role players do you need to see more of in the next game?
Well, just getting back to what Paul was saying about Okogie being a +2 on the plus minus. We only had 2 players in the plus the whole game, and it was Josh Okogie and Bol Bol. So I don't know, man. The rotations don't make sense to me. Why the hell Josh Okogie's been sitting on the bench most of the season when he was such a pivotal piece of our team last season? it does make sense to me, dude. There's a lot of questions up in the air about Vogel, dude, and I really hope he's not around next season. It
I
can't
was
all be
surprised
laid
you-
on.
You
yeah.
said 98% on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. You're very
I said
clear.
hope, and predictions are two different things.
Let me ask you guys something real quick. I mean, the big three all played over 40 minutes last night each. Are
As they
the
should.
we I remember in the Chris Paul days we were always talking about like, oh, is this sustainable to play? All these guys so many minutes.
It's the playoffs. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm wondering. Like, Josh Okogie can't add a spark if you don't give him time to come onto the court. Is there room for an Okogie to come in and get 15 minutes? Is that too much?
No, not at all. If he's warmed up, man, he should be able to come in and be a game changer. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if you're going to take a couple of minutes away from, I don't know, one of the big three, you find space. I'm not worried. I wouldn't be too worried about like how you're distributing minutes at this juncture while you're trying to find, that spark, that something. I mean, fucking take minutes away from Eric Gordon and give him the Josh Okogie. There, I mean, there's their easy solution. But you can't. Well, yeah, you can't take any away from the big three at this point. But yeah, you can find those minutes. It shouldn't be that difficult. We'll see if he does it. I mean, if we don't come out on tomorrow and start strong and hold a solid lead, like I sure as hell hope he does something like that to at least try. And frankly, maybe I wouldn't even be mad if he just starts from there. Not starts like Josh Okogie, but like gets Okogie in early, even if we're playing well, even if we're going well, because hell, it's only one game. We still would have to have three more. You got to find something that's going to continue to work.
Well, and I feel like Vogel's got to feel the heat from a whole different variety of sources at this point. But one guy that, believe it or not, I did not know this until I just looked it up, scoring 19 points, getting over 5 assists a game, shooting 48% from the field and 50% from three.
My name is. My name is. My name is.
Bradley Beal is
In contention with Suns Jam for the best Bradley Beal drop.
Are there any other Bradley Beal drops besides those two?
None that matter.
No, but I mean literally. Is anybody
That was
is
good
anybody on this podcast right now aware of a third Bradley Beal drop in existence?
It's been a while since I heard a
Let-
Fan the Flames episode.
Let
There
me
could be.
shine. Stop taking away my
It's-
shine.
Don't take
It's
away
funny.
the
I'm
sunshine.
sorry. I'm sorry. We were talking about this last night, Dan. It's like you really can't ever turn off being a lawyer, and I can't. I really can't. Imagine my poor family. They're angels, all of them.
Just wait till they
I-
become
I
lawyers, and
imagine-
then, like your Christmas dinners are going to be great.
I'm
What is that,
imagining
Paul?
like the soccer. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
Said wait till they become lawyers, and then they come home for Christmas.
Oh my god.
And those Christmas dinners are going to be great.
Oh no. Oh no. My children are forbidden from becoming lawyers.
See, what I'm imagining, Paul, is that the youngest, so says Jay, goes and plays in a soccer match and maybe gets a yellow card thrown, and she gets very frustrated and comes back, and Justin goes, "Well, technically, the rule of the law states."
No,
And-
I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos of it.
And then,
We
and then
will-
and Justin starts tweeting. to
Justin
the,
would be getting
local
kicked out.
YMCA reffing association.
we will discuss my decorum at youth soccer offline, gentlemen.
When Justin kids start yelling at him, Justin starts yelling at his kids saying, "Stop lawyering me." Then we know we've got
Oh,
him.
dude, my oldest is already she's gonna be good at it too. She does it already. Anyway, guys,
Bradley Beal
this
experience.
isn't about me. This is about Bradley Beal,
Yes.
right? Look, Bradley
And-
Beal is the one dude that's shown a little bit of heart, a little bit of heart. Oh, sorry. You puppies got now.
Oh, I thought your Starbucks got here.
But she's
No,
in
yeah,
trouble. No,
another
dude, I've had
Starbucks,
that
yeah.
for a while, man. I've been sipping. Bradley Beal, one dude that, I mean, okay, the whole like, I don't know why he was smiling last night, towards the end of the game. But hey, at the end of the
Be in
day,
a competitive playoff game.
hey, you know what though? At the end of the day, what did I say at the beginning of the podcast? Life is beautiful no matter what. The world's a lovely place. Every day is a beautiful day to be alive.
You're
So
giving me
why
that
not?
LeBron James vibe. The whole it's just
You know,
basketball.
it's funny.
At the end of the
It's
day. It's
funny.
not a big
It's
deal.
funny. It's funny because to most people that would be a compliment. I'm deeply insulted right now by you saying
You are the
giving you
LeBron James of podcasters. I want you to know that.
But well, that's true because many do argue that I'm the GOAT. Whether it's correct or not is up for debate. But okay, I'll take that, Jake. Is that clearly what you're referring to?
Absolutely.
Anyway, dude, I mean, that was optics wise not great, but ultimately, dude, whatever. I'm not gonna fault a guy like that. I'm not gonna be mad at somebody for smiling in a game after a game, shaking hands with opposing players after a game. I'm not that kind of guy. Life's life. But Bradley Beal's the one dude that has shown, or at least pretended like he cares, or acted like he cares, not pretended. I wish it was a little more contagious, but at least he's given us that. And like you said, he's performed well also. Big toss to the
Do
team.
you think the Nets would be willing to take a trade for Beal for Bridges and Johnson?
I think they're kind of down on Johnson.
And they're
They're
definitely
down on
Bridges.
both, dude.
Are
There's
they?
that like Nets fans have quickly turned on poor Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
know they were-
ultimately, Mikhail's coming home in 2 years anyway, so it doesn't matter. That's the worst case scenario.
It's really
Okay.
interesting how
Beal thoughts?
not Boston,
Just
Brooklyn
dead air.
really turn on to him.
You should be like us
Back
and just
quick.
everyone talks over each other like I'm doing right now. I'm sorry, I'll shut up. Sorry, Hamo. I'm gonna
No,
mute
I'm just
myself.
saying it's really interesting how quick Brooklyn fans turned on Mikal.
It's New York, man.
Did I ever tell you guys about the lovely fans I sat next to when I went to the game against the Knicks at MSG last year? Not this year when Devin Booker hit a 3 at the buzzer. The year when Devin Booker was literally still in Phoenix because he was injured. We were down by like 24 in like the second quarter. And this lady sitting next to me turns to me and she goes, "I'm sorry." And I was just like, it's a lovely. I've always wanted to come here. It's been a lovely trip. So anyway, I digress. Jake, stop letting me talk. Take over. Come on, host.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I feel like going somewhere. Dude.
Welcome.
Apologies, Hamo. I think we touched on the Beal is showing the sign of life for this team, and he although cordial with the Timberwolves, I feel like he's also just kind of excited to be there in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, the sun will rise and fall. The suns will rise and fall with Devin Booker, and I'll tell you what. The kind of knock on him is that when a playoff game starts to get out of hand, he just kind of starts to fall apart. If they're close to elimination, last night I thought I saw a more aggressive Booker towards the end, and I like that he was it Jaden McDaniels tried to take the ball away from him, and he came back and smoked it back out of his hands. And Booker in the fourth quarter, it looked like they were actually playing very free for a while and moving the ball up and down. I mean, they might have gone a little too small, but Hama, let's start back with you. Devin Booker, I mean, is like. What are you thinking of the playoff series so far with him, and what did you think from him last night?
I'm going to be, I'm normally I try to be as positive possible, but coming into this pod, man, I really didn't have many positive takes. our team's not our team right now. I don't know what it is, man. You know, Book he did okay. His numbers weren't too bad. He was 8 from 15. He was 1 from 3 from the 3-point line. But still,
team-
go
Sorry,
on,
Emma.
Paul. No,
please
go
finish.
for it, man.
Our team knows they don't have it, and they're ready to go to Cancun.
It's exactly what I'm thinking too, brother. Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Cancun's overrated.
Paul just saved us about 3 minutes, dude. He really did. He got straight to the point I was trying to articulate. So yeah, that's it.
Well,
We're-
then let me change
we're
the
ready.
question a little bit. Are we going to see? Are we going to see Booker resign himself to the season's over tomorrow, or is Booker going to try and change the narrative that in an elimination games where it would take so many games to come back and win?
I think I can see them trying to. They don't want to get swept. I can see them at least trying to get that one win. You know, I can definitely see them.
Bro, hold on. I can see them at least trying to get that one.
No, I mean,
win.
It's so
Man,
depressing.
I'm insulted that you just fucking said that about them.
well, if you
Oh, I
look at
forgot.
the-
Hold on. I'm
Doesn't really
emotionally
seem like
detached.
they've
I
been
forgot.
trying
My
to
Hey,
bad.
you don't even
Yeah.
care. What are you talking about?
I mean, hey, anything's possible. But to Jake's
No, but
question,
I'm not
are they gonna come
saying.
in checked out?
I know
I'm
that's
saying
exactly
no.
what I'm getting at. I'm not saying that you're saying. I'm not saying you're saying it's impossible for them to win the series. That I mean, based on history, is basically impossible. But I'm saying
Highly improbable.
the comment that they're going to try to at least win one implies that they basically have quit, but for saving a little bit of face, which I find insulting.
That's that. I guess I could see that. Yeah, the frustration part of that statement was, I could see them not wanting to be embarrassed. Like, I could see that being
As
a
opposed
thing.
to wanting to win.
Well, it
They
follows
should
up my
play better.
previous comment where I literally just said the team checked out. They know
Yeah.
they don't have it to win the whole season. They want it over with, but they don't want to be fully embarrassed.
So you do think
Getting
they've
over.
given up? Okay, that's
I
fair. Okay,
do.
then, but I'm still then in that case, I
do
am
I think they
still
had given up going into
insulted.
the playoffs? Do I think they had given up in game one? No.
But you're talking. But hold on, the question was about Devin Booker though, also, right?
That was the leading part of it. Yeah.
So I think he will come out and try to play well.
One
Will
game.
his shots fall?
Then he'll-
I don't know. Because his shots haven't fallen basically this whole series.
Yeah. He's shooting a paltry 43%, 27% from three right now. Only 20 points a game, 6 assists. That's why I don't understand. Like,
I
you
think
have
we're
three
shooting
of the
as a
best
team, we're
scorers in the
shooting the
game
worst. We're the worst
being
three-point
unable to
shooting
score.
team. We're the worst 3-point shooting team in the playoffs right now, right?
I think, yeah, probably us and the Lakers are about to get swept as well. But
Yeah.
the Lakers were
What Lakers deserve to get swept.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
so-
whoa. Get swept as well.
sorry. No, we're gonna save face, as Paul said. we
Man,
will,
man,
of course.
I can't believe I agreed to this fucking podcast. Goddamn. By the way, I know I'm off camera right now. That was not like unintentional. This just for the record. My iPad's just dying, so I have to relocate it.
Okay. Well, so let me ask you this, Paul. I mean, does going deeper into the bench, does playing role players spark a team that is checking out early? I mean, I guess it as you said, highly improbable.
Yeah.
But if you were Vogel,
If
what
I were
would
Vogel-
you
if I
try
were
and do to
Vogel-
change it?
I wouldn't. I mean,
You would
I would
just-
change some schemes, maybe, and like some matchup purposes, but these are the guys that got us there. This team is. We have 6 guys who can realistically play at a consistent
Yeah.
high level. You got Book, you got KD, you got Beal, you got Nurk. He's there. You got Allen, who was out. You got Eric Gordon.
And we didn't even mention Royce O'Neal. I can't
And
make one
Royce
single
O'Neal,
shot.
because
Yeah.
Royce O'Neal, that's your 7. That's what you
Mhm.
got. Maybe a little.
Drew Eubanks.
sprinkling of Bull, but that if we're relying on Bull, I'm sorry, we're screwed. Those are our 7 guys, or 6 of those 7 guys, because Eric Gordon's on a 1 year, are guys who are most likely going to be. If we keep everybody, those are the guys who are coming back, because those are the guys who we either already have under contract or can re-sign in Royce O'Neal. So I mean, you go down with the guys that brought you there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna trying to play Thad Young and IT and Josh and Okogie, guys who hadn't played all season. No, I mean, maybe see if they do a spark, give them like a minute or two, see if something happens. But if nothing's there, don't waste your time with it. Go down with the guys that brought you there.
Go home with the one that brought you to the dance. Well, before we wrap up, I forgot Hamlin did have a question.
Oh, can I need to. Can I speak on Book for a second? I didn't get a chance.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, you talk about like him getting aggressive. The one thing I wish Devin Booker could figure out, and like I know there's a way for him to figure it out,
Is the
is how
line
to channel the aggression like properly. Because I feel like when Devin Booker gets frustrated or gets upset or gets angry in a game, we get 2 different versions. We get the Devin Booker who takes that and fucking like uses it to focus himself and just becomes a fucking killer. And then we get the Devin Booker who lashes
Takes
out.
the ball and goes home.
Who's dude, like it's and it hurts me to see it because you hear him like we've seen this kid grow up, right? Like literally when he was 18. And we've seen how he carries
now.
what was that?
He's drinking red wine out at his compound now, and with
Right. Well, right, dude. Well, and we've seen how he carries himself even when he was early in his career, was always super mature. Says the right thing all the time, has a great image for all intents and purposes, like public wise, like it outside of the basketball realm, right?
He's only
And
young
seeing
too,
him
man.
like that, right? Yeah, but seeing him like not be able to, like, you just know he's capable of channeling that. It just needs to happen, maybe to the point, like maybe the Chris Paul thing, right? Maybe that not so much maybe not even a leader, but a mentor, right? Maybe he just needs a little bit more. I don't know, man. Or maybe it's a thing of just maturing. He's just going to figure it out at some point.
He's been the main guy on that team for a long time, and like you said, other than Chris Paul, he hasn't really had a mentor. And,
yeah, and he went
there's
through
a lot of
coaches.
talk about bringing Chris Paul back next season.
You guys are forgetting
this
Eric
and that.
Bledsoe, Brandon Knight. He had opportunities.
Tyson Chandler.
Can we also
decent role model?
Let's use this platform, all 4 of us, to fucking say, can we stop with the Devin Booker slander, the Devin Booker backlash? Because look, okay, is he struggling right now? Absolutely. But people out there being like, oh, Suns have to trade him. Like, dude, this kid has stood by this city when he really had no reason to. Yeah. And we now watch him struggle, and we have people that are turning on him when he could have done and had every reason to do the same fucking thing for the first 5 years, 6 years of his career and didn't. And he's taken the franchise to where it is, and he struggles, and everyone's like, well, fuck him. No, fuck you guys. Okay, I'm sorry, respectfully.
Hey, yes.
No, you know what? Not respectfully. Not respectfully.
Very disrespectfully.
Disrespectfully.
Here.
But maybe if that was too harsh, I apologize.
No, I think that's spot on. I kind of blame the Bill Simmons, trade rumors. Just give them to the Pelicans for a hobbled CJ McCollum and Trey Murphy, and call it good and a couple firsts, and you're all set. So But no, before we start to wrap up here, Hamill wanted to bring you guys into the club, buy you a drink, and I know he had a question, and I'll let him ask it as soon as we bring you guys in and treat you a little bit as the guests that you are.
What's the name of that nightclub of yours again?
You talking about the Boom Boom Room?
Yeah, the Boom Boom Room. That's it. Yeah.
All right, welcome guys into the Boom Boom Room, where it's usually a place of total positivity. You guys will fit right in, even on dark days like today. And Hamill, you had an idea, and I first posed this question to Paul about if you were Vogel, how do you make the adjustments, try and win, try and turn things around? But you had an idea, and that you wanted to float to the group as well.
Just, I don't understand why he's not changing the rotations. It's the literal definition of insanity is repeating the same things and expecting different outcomes. Why are we still going with the same shit?
I believe specifically Hamill wanted to know, could you imagine putting a Bradley Beal in the second rotation?
I think in an offensive term, I think it'd space our scoring. Like if he shows up as Bradley Beal, but if Booker shows up as Booker, if KD shows up as KD, I'm upsetting Paul.
It's already
here.
designed that way.
No, but bring Beal off the bench, bring Grayson Allen off the bench, have a second unit of scoring. Let Royce O'Neal
You play
start.
with 7 guys. There's always 2 of those guys on the floor at all times anyways. That's a moot point of when they start or when they finish. There's always 2 of them on the floor. That's the design of the team.
Except last night, there was that moment, I think, where all the big 3 were off, and it looked horrendous for like the minute.
Well, that's horrible. Yeah. But I mean, this entire season, it's Beal goes out. Here's our rotation. Beal's the first one out. Then it's Book and KD. Then KD goes out, and Beal comes back in, and then Book plays through the first quarter. Then Book sits at the beginning of the first quarter, and it's Beal and KD. There's always 2 of them on the floor. That's the design of the team. So putting one of them on the bench is moot because he comes in with the bench, and vice versa. We're not playing hockey here.
No, I think it's a standard rotation as a plan going forward, like a planned rotation. Don't start the big 3.
Ooh. I don't know if I'm with you, but there's
I'm
no
gonna go out on,
at this point.
I'm going to go out on a limb though and say that they will all start tomorrow.
Yeah.
But here's what if you want to throw out fucking like wild ideas, let's go back to somebody we talked about earlier. It's somebody who I said at the beginning, like before the season started, the person I said should have been the 5th starter. Fucking start Josh Okogie tomorrow. Let Grayson, assuming he plays, and Royce O'Neal come off the bench. You add a defensive piece to the big 3 with Nurk, okay, who's chaos, right? Is that what you just said, Paul? Because that was poetic. If that's what you said.
It is exactly what I said.
Okay, I wasn't sure. That's what I thought I heard, but then I was like, did I hear that right? But beautiful. And then Grayson and Royce, there's additional offense off the bench because Grayson's not starting. Fuck, whatever, dude. Like, if we're gonna go, that's an idea that is obviously something that is a complete fucking monkey wrench, but also is not going to make Paul yell at anybody.
Well, and I'll say this: I'm ready to move. I don't think Eubanks has been as bad as feared. He's
God, dude, no, stop.
I would say play less Drew Eubanks and actually play more Bull at the 4 and go small with KD at the 5 and have Bull being able to kind of play some weak side defender role. I think that could help spread it out more.
You
Because
guys want to
Eubanks
hear?
have not been able to spread out the offense, and with a very good defensive matchup that we're going against, it might open up better shot opportunities.
You guys want to hear the what I think would be if you could take two players and combine them would make maybe one of the greatest centers in NBA history. You take DeAndre Ayton as he is right now, and then instill in him Drew Eubanks's like amazing level of confidence anytime he has the ball anywhere near the rim. Oh my God, man! Like
I was wondering where you're going
they
with
have
that.
to
I'm like, hang on,
reinforce
what?
rims because goddamn, Drew Eubanks, you give him the ball, he's like, I can dunk it from here. It's like, no, dude, you can't. And every now and then he does. It's like, dude, it's like him around the rim is like golf. Because every now and then he throws down just a nasty dunk, and he's like, yeah, see, I can do this shit. It's like play golf, you're like, oh, I hit a great shot. I'll come back and do that again. And Drew Eubanks is like, I'm just going to try to do that every time. Anywho, no Drew Eubanks. I mean, start Chachakogi. How crazy would it be if fucking Frank Vogel actually did that tomorrow? Oh, I'd love it.
It'd throw the Wolves off.
I would think it would make the arena go nuts. Like, I think the place would be rocking. It's not going to happen. We're going to do the same shit. I'm going to sit there like this. Maybe I'll get on TV tomorrow because I'll be the guy that's just like this the whole game. I'll be like Matt Ishbia last night. I'll be like staring into the distance. Ride or die, though. Ride or die.
Fans that get put on TV always.
I am I'm on the non-TV side actually. So,
Bummer.
but it'd have to be a close-in shot, so they'd have to get somebody to find me. I'll just make sure the hair is looking glorious tomorrow and see what I can do.
Well, guys, we've
we should move on. Yeah, we should finish too because
I was just gonna say, believe it or not, I don't know why. I actually feel mildly more confident in tomorrow's game. I was walking into this show thinking it was
get worse.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what you guys were gonna get from me this morning. I could have been like, that was last night. I'm like, I don't know. This might not be a good idea. I could be like coming in super hot, and it could be ugly. Yeah, but hey, that's why I sat outside. I got birds chirping. Like it's a beautiful day, guys. The Suns are gonna win tomorrow, and then they're gonna win Game 5. And they're gonna win Game 6. Game 7.
Are you going?
And then everyone's gonna say, what an amazing series it was.
You're going full Boyd. You're picking all W's.
Oh Boyd. Paul, are you insulted for me right now?
I am 100% insulted for you. Boyd is pulling a full so says Jay. That has been a staple of Fanning the Flames for, I would say, since season 1 of Fanning the Flames.
Hence, Jake, end this now before this gets ugly.
Hamo, where can the folks find you for all those great ideas like start Bradley Beal off the bench?
Yeah, definitely. Find me at Sir Hamo on Twitter. Thank you very much to ASAP Arizona, ASAP Sports Network for promoting, producing, and being part of what we're trying to do here at Suns Planet. But yeah, like it sucks right now, Suns fans. It really does. But stay together. Try and be positive, and we'll see how we go.
Hamo, if we ever have one of those like dystopian, like end of the world type situations, I hope you don't get like a ham radio because you're going to be the most depressing guy to listen to. Keep the faith, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude.
Keep your water clean. If you have food, be sure to share it with your neighbors.
I'm telling you,
like Woody Harrelson from 2012.
Yeah, it's a fucking fantastic reference, Tim. I love it, dude. 100%. Holy shit, that was a deep cut.
So lucid at the end of the show.
If that happens, if that dystopian situation happens, Hamo is going to be like he's going to be like fucking Negan, like in a good way though. Like I would follow Hamo.
Easy
Yeah.
peasy lemon squeezy.
I'd be
He's
like,
gonna
you know
murder
what?
people with a baseball bat with nails in it.
Bro, I feel no. You know what? Actually, I feel like maybe Ham and I would be like a good
Need to get
team.
too close for that kind of
He'd
stuff,
be,
man.
he'd be like my quiet, like, but fucking like kind of daunting dude that's like always around me. And then I'm just like the one that kind of is the loudmouth, and he just fucking stares people down, like talks about his 50 Magnum and shit.
Emma would
and,
murder you in your sleep, Justin.
no, dude. I'm good at like I'm a good relationship guy.
Yeah.
Like the people around me, we have strong ties. I don't think I wouldn't be worried about any sort of mutiny or anything like that. I think we'd be good.
This is
Yeah.
somehow lifting the chat back up because there's
You know
somehow
what?
really buying
You know
into
what?
this.
You know what? Fuck you, Paul. By the way, you're gonna be like one of like the low people. We're gonna just because of this.
I've already determined that the minute there's a dystopian culture future, like if there's zombies, I'm gonna go get myself bit. I don't want to try to live in that.
You know what? That's
all right. That's
not a
good.
bad
Finish it. We're done.
Like the
That's
people that
perfect.
brought you here, Vogel. Just the zombie apocalypse because we weren't, careful with the pandemic. Just let yourself get bit, guys.
Yeah, just fucking
Oh.
get into it.
Oh, they're just running towards the swarms, like ah.
Eat me, motherfucker.
Everyone in the movies is always running away, running to shelter, running to firearms.
Braveheart and that freedom.
Running dead on towards the swarm. just take me.
This is why Paul and I, after 20 plus years, are still like.
And this is where I'm going to take it one step further. You see Paul running into the swarm, and the swarm just parts, and he's just
he's like, God damn it!
Fuck,
bite me!
Oh no! And then Paul. Oh God! And then Paul becomes the leader. Nobody ever has. Nobody has.
Zombies.
Yeah, nobody ever has really clear direction. Like, Paul, what should we do? He's like, well, you could do any of these, really. You're like, but. Jake, end this now. Come on. Ask where they can find us.
Yeah,
there you
where
go.
can people find it?
Right here. At So Says Jay on Twitter, now known as X. That's how I'm gonna say it. Not X, formerly known as Twitter. Twitter, now known as X. And then you can't find me anywhere else because my wife doesn't let people know where I am. You can find me at random soccer fields around town and at cheer events, though. Sometimes on weekends.
But that's like the big one. She doesn't want you to know where you are.
You can find me at I would say generally. You can find me at Suns games also occasionally.
Find him at tomorrow's game. He's going to be the one saying,
find
"We
me.
got this."
You know what? Hey, if you're there, come by and say hello. I'm not going to tell you where my seats are, but look for me. Voida will. No, I'm not going to give him ideas. Shut up now.
And actually, Justin is a great cheap date because he doesn't drink, so you won't have to buy him a cocktail for $15. Paul, where can the folks
And since I stopped drinking, I feel inclined to buy people drinks because I'm like, I can go spend money on alcohol now. I should. Here, I can do it. Like, Paul, you go.
Yeah, you can find me at Dervish Whirl. I'm nowhere near as active as some of these other guys, but I'm there. I'm happy to respond.
My friend. Everyone go follow Paul. He needs more followers, I feel. If he had more followers, then I feel like he'd engage more. We'll force him into it, guys. Come on. Oh, and you can also find us at Fan the Flames NBA.
Oh, yeah,
and we have and hey,
at
how many we have 3 we have 3 iTunes feeds somehow now.
We have 3 now? Nice.
We have 3 now. One of them has our most recent episode that was recorded in January and published in March.
Be sure to
Where we talk about the DeAndre trade.
Jake, stop letting me take over the episode. Go.
Be sure to tune into all 3 streaming podcasts of Fanning the Flames, the original Phoenix Suns podcast. These guys have been at it for a while. They were there in the dark days, and this is a pretty good day for them. Even what comes.
Dude, this is fucking compared to what we lived through.
It's like the 3rd best season.
Yeah,
really guys, we made the playoffs.
It is the 3rd best season of the 8 years we've been doing this.
Oh man, yeah. Okay.
Actually, maybe 4th. The bubble was pretty solid.
And thank you for finally not big timing us, Jake, and letting us come do this. This is actually the timing worked out.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay
with us as the Suns get set to shine here on their home court.
Here's Perry. The guard hurt. Here's the jump shot. Good! It's good!
Al McCoy with you courtside. Pumped up a three.
Suzanne! He ties it. Hey, D.A. Al and Tim up here.
happy birthday!
Right. Yeah.
I know it's the moment. Happy birthday, baby!
Here's Cameron Payne out on top. Durant, three-pointer straight away.
Suzanne! I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in this arena this afternoon, to all of those that are watching and listening on radio and TV. Thank you for allowing me to tell the story of the Suns for 51 great years.
That pretty much wraps things up here. And for one last time, this is Al McCoy saying thanks for being there. Thanks for being with us tonight. And from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, we'll just say so long for now.